Okay, these are the items that you'll need. A lighter, some large diameter heat shrink tubing, and this needs to be large enough that you can pass the cap of your Sharpie through it. A pair of scissors, some paracord, a Sharpie, and a pencil. We're going to start off by getting a piece of paracord that is long enough to hang the Sharpie, and I actually made mine long enough that I could quickly pop it around my neck. There's a piece right there that's about the right length. You want to cut the ends of your paracord. In this case I have it sealed, heat sealed, and I want to pull the center out, so I'll need to remove that. And then we're going to pull the center core of the paracord out. Now this is, you can tell this is not real paracord. I think we got this at a place like Walmart or Bi-Mart, but it'll work for our purposes. You know, real paracord has 7 inner cores that are not this bulky polyester fiber. Now the purpose for the pencil is you're going to, on one end, just gently flare the paracord. And the reason for that is we want to heat seal the edge, but we don't want to collapse the tube. So we'll gently heat seal that, and I'm going to leave it open. On this same end, you're going to tie a simple overhand knot, and you're going to give yourself a length about the length of the pocket clip on the Sharpie, just to perhaps a little bit shorter. Now if you look at the knot, you'll notice that there is, depending upon which side you're looking at, you'll notice on one side there'll be a piece of cord that crosses perpendicular across the little short tab that we left. That is where you want to take your cap, and you want to just slide the pocket clip through that loop, just like that. And now you're going to go ahead and tighten the knot. Just like that. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other end, so you're going to just gently flare, heat and seal. Okay, now you're going to take the other end and just slide that up along the cap all the way to the end, and just lay your little tab along the edge. And you're going to just make a little bundle like that. What you end up with is the loop coming off the top of the cap. It's secured on with a knot, and it won't come out from underneath the heat shrink tubing because of the little tab. Now we're going to cut a piece of heat shrink tubing to length. So that is about the right length for this project. I'm going to just slide it on one end. I'm going to work on keeping all my tabs in order. And that's what you want it to look like. I'm going to keep it all off to one end. Now this is where you're going to need a special tool, and I'll bring that in a second. A lot of people use something like a flame from a lighter to shrink their tubing. In this case, that is going to potentially damage your Sharpie, so we're going to use a heat gun. Okay, we're going to take the heat gun now, and we're going to shrink this tubing around the end of the cap. And I'm going to start off by just trying to shrink this bulky part. Now I am leaving my fingers close by here, and the reason for that is if my fingers get too warm, I'm going to stop, and that way I'm not going to damage the plastic of the Sharpie cap. As I'm going, I'm going to just kind of adjust and make sure that everything is lined up nicely. All right, there you have it. There's a nice hang loop on the end of this Sharpie. And the reason we made these is AMP3 has gotten pretty big. We've got an expanding line of kits and other items in our online store, and we've developed some inventory control sheets that we use to mark how many items we have, how many modules we have ready for new kits. And we used to leave these Sharpies just on the supply shelf, and they would roll off, get on the floor, or more importantly, someone would pick them up, take them in the house for a project, and they would never be in the spot that they were supposed to be. So Beth wanted something to keep a number of Sharpies right at the area that we work, and I've hung the Sharpies with these loops on the end of all of our organizing racks. They also come in pretty handy if I'm working on building a number of modules or kits. Now my son thinks this is a little geeky, but I will hang one of these around my neck, and that way I can quickly grab a Sharpie. I can write the module, type how many there are, stick the label in the bag, and then keep building. And that way I have a Sharpie with me at all times. Now I see these also useful for other things. If you're in emergency services, a community response team, any number of places where a Sharpie could come in handy. This is a great way to keep one around your neck or tied to one of your go bags and then just throw it in the pack. So anyway, I think that's a nice little helpful project. I do know that Sharpies do come with a cap with a clip on it that you can just tie some paracord on. However, we have a bunch of these in our house, and rather than spend money for something I didn't need, and since I had a lot of paracord, I always have shrink tubing. This is a little project that I came up with. So hopefully that'll be useful for some of you guys, and be safe.